Tonight on Live from the Theater Basement, our correspondent talks with two of the volunteers it takes to make excellent theater in a small town. It takes over 200 volunteers to run a theater like Theatrikos. Actors, directors, ushers, workshop leaders, reception coordinators, people you don't even think of, like landscaping. What do they all do? Find out tonight on Live from the Theater Basement.
Do good, be good. Is your company or nonprofit looking for a facilitator? Hire Sharon Tewksbury Bloom to facilitate virtual retreats, meetings, or team building. Email Sharon at connect@sharonspeaks.com. Your company will be better with Do Good, Be Good.
I'm your host, Chris Farrell. Tonight, our correspondent, Jamie Hassapis, talks with two of the volunteers, Annette Fallaha and John Propster, who help make theater in Flagstaff possible. Volunteering at the theater tonight, here on Live from the Theater Basement.
Thanks, Chris, and welcome tonight. I'm so glad you're here to join me.
Thank you.
So let's first start with, how did you get started with volunteering at Theatrikos? Let's go with you, Annette.
Okay. It was back in 2010, and I was here because I wanted to volunteer for an event that was happening, the Oscars, which was at the Orpheum. And I had so much fun with all the volunteers planning it, and that evening I decided to join a volunteer committee meeting, and because Gary Walden was the executive director at the time, and he said to me, I think you should be in the volunteer committee and stay with it. So that's how I got started, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, wonderful. And what about you, John?
I moved here October 1st, 2015, and October 8th I wandered into the VC meeting, the volunteer committee meeting, and never left.
I know. So what are some of the activities that people can volunteer for here at Theatrikos? What are those needs? You want to start out?
Sure. I started out, and I think it's a good way to start out, is being an usher, because you can come to see the theater
The theater.
not the play, for free, and it's just a nice way to greet the patrons that come in and just to get to know how things are run here. If you want to be a house manager, that's some training you have to go through, but that's another way to get into the play and see it for free.
Right.
And then you have an extra seat for someone that you want to bring.
Yeah, a house manager, you get to bring a guest.
Yes.
But as an usher, you don't.
No.
But one of the things that's really great about an usher is that, they're coming in and they're just helping people to the seats. They're actually learning the lay of the land of the theater as well.
Exactly, yeah. I might not still have those seats memorized, but we have a chart, so we can.
Yeah, there is a chart.
So,
The numbers at the
Yeah.
back going left, right, even,
Yeah.
odd. Yeah, those all help too.
yeah, but that's one way, and then from there, I just kind of looked to see what type of, where I could fit in, and where I felt like I could fit in, because at the time I owned a bed and breakfast, and I knew a lot of the restaurant owners, so I felt like I can fit in by, instead of us being in the kitchen and having to cook for opening nights and shopping, let's ask some restaurants if they'd like to donate some food, which they did.
That's good promotion.
Yeah, so I've been doing that for quite a long time. So, and that was where I felt like I finally fit into my niche, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And John, what are some of the opportunities that you have?
Well, obviously auditioning for shows.
Oh, awesome, obviously.
But if you're, don't quite want to be on stage, plenty of backstage opportunities, from set building, set painting, lights, operating the lights, operating sound, backstage crew, and all those take minimal commitment and minimal training. Usually it's a week before opening, and you come in and you work through the tech week, as we call it, and then you're part of the show, and you feel part of everything. And then there's a number of people that started off that way and then auditioned for a show, got into shows, and stage management, production manager, assistant director, assistant stage managers, lots of opportunities.
And so you're talking about training.
Yes.
What kind of training will people need? What positions?
For lights, it's basically simply press go. You learn the cues and you press go.
Uh-huh.
For sound, it's pretty much the same thing. You have the program there and you press go. And you just have to know how to turn everything on and turn everything off.
So is there any training on how to use the machinery or anything like
Yes,
that?
if you want to get more training,
Uh-huh.
we're offering that also to anybody that wants to learn how to make the magic happen.
Well, and that's great, because
Yeah.
some people that may have that interest and always thought about doing it for years, I'm like, here's my opportunity. I didn't know that I could get trained on it. I thought I'd have to go to school to do it.
Right, that's true.
A lot of people in the community have thought that.
Right.
Yeah, and acting, many people have never acted before and are on the stage or haven't acted since
high school,
high
right.
school like
Right.
I did before coming
Same
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the volunteer opportunities, we have a lot of, the plays coming on and things such as that. So what does it entail to become a volunteer? How do people find out about it?
Just go to theatrikos.com, is it, or .org.com, and you'll go to volunteers, and you can fill out information. For every category that you check, then you will get emails whenever things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way to find out, is get on the email list. Second, check the Facebook list. And third, if you become a member, $50 a year, then you'll get the newsletter, and that also has
Uh-huh.
the upcoming opportunities.
Oh, great, because I think a lot of people aren't aware of the accessibility
Yes.
and how people can volunteer for any organization, actually.
Right.
Where do I go to find out to volunteer? And that's always been a big
Right.
question.
If they don't want to go to online, we have volunteer packets. If
Right.
they feel more comfortable filling out the packet and check off what they think would be their interest.
Uh-huh, and then you could just come here and fill it out.
Yes,
Right. And also you do that for auditions.
yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a number of ways to get involved. And once you get your foot in the door,
Mhm.
then you are set. And the benefits are that we're family.
It is.
We are all volunteers working to create,
It's so fun.
This great art.
Yeah.
and you're going, wow, and so some of the parts, the product is greater than the sum of its parts, or something like that. I don't know.
The end
I'm
result,
blowing
yeah,
the old
yeah.
saying, but,
Yeah, whatever.
but it's just a great feeling. People come and they feel isolated, but you come here
You feel like
and
family.
you got a home.
Yeah.
So since coming here, John, what is your favorite volunteer position? What do you do?
Well, it's hard to pick just one. I mean, you gotta tell the kids
There's a lot of
you
different
love them
things.
all.
Yeah.
Right. I would say the two, directing and stage managing. Because directing, to get everybody involved and see their potential and make it a good experience for them. And stage manager, just manage what's happening. So it takes some of the onus off of the director. Make sure everything is.
Oh yeah, stage manager is important.
Yes.
Important role, and
Yes.
a lot of detail orientation on that. I've worked with some stage managers that have been really organized, and I've
Right.
worked with some that, okay, where is this?
Yeah,
What are
right,
you doing?
right.
What are you doing? Why are you where you should be?
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and like directing or assistant directing, or how can somebody get into that? The same way of becoming a volunteer. Those
Usually,
opportunities?
we start you off with stage manager. So if you don't know anything, you can start as assistant stage manager, assistant director, and then director.
Mhm.
Mainly because every theater is different. So
Right.
you have to learn how this theater operates.
Right.
And so once you do that, then it's fine. But if you get thrown in, we've had bad experiences sometimes with people coming in to direct that have never worked here,
Mhm.
don't know anybody, and so they get,
It's good to know the
lots of friction.
organization.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because I think the biggest issue with a director is that a lot of them aren't familiar with the venue
Right.
per se,
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
how it
And the
works and
venue's
how it
different.
operates. I've been doing a lot of music theater, but it seems like a lot of the things you do have been in many different places.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so you have to adapt so
Yes.
quickly, and sometimes we're rehearsing in spaces that aren't even close to the stage.
Right.
And those are some of the opportunities there. So with those non-acting opportunities, You've got things, what other things
Oh.
other than ushering and
We always
being a house
need
manager?
people to be here when we have food, prepping, shopping. There's so many things that's behind the scenes and another way of behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So I would say that if you're gonna have an opening night, we're gonna have a volunteer barbecue, we're gonna have our, anything that's happening around food. We still need people to feel comfortable here, and if you feel comfortable in the kitchen, that's where I'm feeling comfortable, as far as helping out and shopping and
Maybe a
everything.
grill.
Right.
Yeah,
I love grilling.
there's so many things here that you can do,
Uh-huh.
they do at home.
Yeah, and and it's not just in the theater, because also we've got these grounds that are just
Right.
wonderful, and
Yeah.
I'm on the landscaping committee,
Right.
and trying to preparing it for our 50th
Oh.
anniversary, and we're gonna be needing
It's looking
volunteers for
good.
that too.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true,
We need volunteers all around.
Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
Just-
Well, it looks like our time is up. Okay, so our time, checking with our director here, our time is up, and thank you so much for being here tonight. I
Oh,
really
you're welcome.
appreciate it. And again, thank you, and good night from Live from the Theater Basement.
Line dance instructor Annette Fallaha, who normally teaches at Museum Club, has taken her dance classes online. Learn line dancing with Annette and you'll be ready and confident when we can all get back out and step, step, step. Check out Annette's Visionary Dance Vibes on Facebook and in your own home.
Thanks to our correspondent, Jamie Hassapis, and our two volunteers, Annette Fallaha and John Propster. We got a lot of folks it takes to make this show happen. Rather than give you the long list, I got 4 people I want to thank. Hey, this show is broadcasting today, June 5th. June 26th is the last episode, but we're recording this in April. Our last 3 months we're doing a little bit out of sync. But this is the last one I, as your host, record live, and I got 4 people I want to thank. Linda Sutera, who has doggedly made sure our 10-minute plays have been wonderful and have kept coming. My thanks to her for her tireless dedication to this project. Matt Brewer, who no one has seen for a year and a half, but he did the engineering to make all of this possible at the beginning. Ava Haynes, our technician, who has done most of our shows, who has been a lifesaver throughout this entire process. And Joe Manigla, who in the pandemic got saddled with a project he didn't think he'd be doing. And frankly is thankful it's over, but we are thankful for his professionalism in making it happen. Live from the Theater Basement, streaming on Sunday evenings at 7:30 p.m. and available wherever you get your podcast, is a production of Theatrikos Theatre Company in partnership with Northern Arizona Playwriting Showcase, that's Linda Sutera, and Deuteron Films, that's Matt Brewer. Theatrikos Theatre Company, Flagstaff, Arizona, is the theater company of Northern Arizona and the Grand Canyon. Embracing the spirit of Broadway with such shows as the musical comedy Nonsense, opening on July 22nd. Yes, as we emerge from the pandemic, more great theater comes your way. Live from the Theater Basement, the weekly podcast streaming show from Theatrikos Theatre Company, alternates between 10-minute short plays and interviews with Arizona arts leaders. If you, as a listener-viewer, have input, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at theater@theatrikos.com. Live from the Theater Basement, with new episodes each week, well, for at least a couple more weeks, until we wrap it all up at the end of the month. It's available Sundays, 7:30, and wherever you get your podcast, is funded in part by Creative Flagstaff, formerly the Flagstaff Arts Council, and the Arizona Community Foundation. Additional funding from Arizona Commission on the Arts, Flagstaff 365, BBB revenue of the City of Flagstaff, Calf Country Radio, and patrons of the arts, like you. For about a year and a half, I've been your host, Chris Verrill, and I really do thank you for joining us here on Live from the Theater Basement. This is Theatrikos. Coming up next week on Live from the Theater Basement, we talk Flagstaff leadership with 12-year city council member and cultural icon, Al White. Life and leadership in Flagstaff with Al. Next Sunday, June 12th. I know it says June 5th there. It's really June 12th. Take my word for it. June 12th, and of course, whenever you want to listen to that on the podcast.